Taylor, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Grayson. I appreciate you having me on here. It's been a good way to end the week, so to speak. We've got a well out in the Permian Basin right now that we have some high hopes for that we're just getting ready to bring in. So perfect ending to a perfect week.
That's great, and I'm sure all of our listeners have probably heard of the Permian. What kind of success rates are they seeing out there?
It's hard for me to speak to everyone's success rate, but I think the general consensus out there that you're looking at about an 87 to 93% success rate as far as producing oil from the wells drilled.
That's the figures that I'm familiar with as well. Taylor, tell us a little bit about your background, how long you've been in the business.
Good. So my company, I'm the president of a company called Alliance Petroleum Interests here in Dallas. Alliance Petroleum Interests has been in business a little bit over 4 years, which I've got to admit is 4 years ago, if everybody remembers the rocky. I don't know, maybe saying rocky is being a little bit modest here, but it was a tough start in the oil business. But we persevered, we managed through it. Really, the key component to why we were able to survive the downturn is just from a cost management perspective. I mean, we just throughout all the projects that we do, we really focus on keeping that cost down. At the end of the day, the cheaper you can get a well drilled and the less expenses it takes to run it, the less oil that well has to produce to make it profitable for our company and the partners that we do business with.
Well, that's great. So basically, you buying low and selling when the oil is higher.
Right.
It's basically what we're experiencing.
It's not a revolutionary idea, right? It's the same principle in finance that everybody's been taught since they were in grade school or secondary education. But what my company does is we partner with sophisticated and accredited investors, and we drill and develop various oil fields. I mean, right now our main focus is the Permian Basin. I'm sure everyone's familiar with that. It's been highlighted all over the news. But we go out there and we drill with accredited investors primarily for profits. There are some unique tax incentives, and I always caution those that are looking for tax deductions. That's not why we're out here doing it. It is a unique scenario where we can go out and we can hit record-breaking wells, and at the end of the day, you can still write off 100% of that investment. There's some intricacies there involved. It's primarily based on a tax code it's under the 263C heading in the IRS tax code, but it does take a little bit of sting out of the initial investment.
What kind of return on investment percentages have you seen over the years with these types of joint ventures?
All over the board. I'd say effectively managed projects that are in areas such as the Permian, you can see anywhere between 65% on a low end all the way up to about a 95% return in just the first year.
That's really good. And it's a great diversification for our listeners who have never or maybe never even thought about oil drilling as an investment. You mentioned taxes. Is that under a tax code?
Yes, it's tax code 263C. I mean, obviously, you need to talk to your CPA regarding how it affects everybody's personal situation. But I've never been in a situation where an investor or us did not get to write off the entire investment.
Perfect. How long how long can revenues be sustained with this type of investment?
On a typical well in area, you'll see a lot of the production come through in the first 3 to 5 years. In the Permian itself, I mean, it's not unrealistic to expect a well to last between 30 and 40 years.
Okay, well that's really good. So you said you are currently drilling in the Permian Basin. What is oil currently trading at?
Oil's right around the $65 mark. It's kind of been fluctuating a little bit this week, but that's kind of what oil does, right?
Absolutely, and that's up from as low as $26 a barrel, is it not?
It is. I think most people in the industry try to forget that part, but yes, over the last year and a half, 2 years, oil's come up. It's doubled in the last 2 years.
Well, that's just doing some quick math in my head. That's almost a 40% increase from just a year ago.
It is.
That's excellent. Well, listen, Taylor, thank you very much for being on the show. We really appreciate having you, and look forward to having you on again sometime.
All right. Thank you, Grayson. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You've been listening to CEO Money. I'm your guest host, Grayson Armistead. This segment was brought to you by Infuse and the revolutionary Notify CRM product. In today's video-centric world, your sales force needs tools to sell and not just report. Find out more at infuse.com.